Hello everyone and welcome back. In today's video we will be comparing and shooting several types of .32 ACP ammunition to see what kind of performance you might expect from each of them when used in a micro-sized or pocket-sized .32, if you will. Now there are several makers of pocket-sized .32s out there today, but by far the most popular seems to be the Kel-Tec P32 and the Beretta Tomcat. So today's testing gun, we're going to be using the Kel-Tec P32. We're going to start by chronographing about 5 different ammunition choices, bring that data right back here, crunch the numbers, and then go right back out into the field to kind of see what happens when we actually do some ballistic testing with those same ammunition choices. Now the only ammunition today that we'll probably take a look at, but we won't really do any shooting with, is going to be the mag-safe ammunition. Primarily that's because I picked it up after I had already done the bulk of the filming for today's video, and besides I figure MagSafe probably needs its own specialty video anyway for that one. But as far as today's video goes, if you like today's video, please remember to click the like button, do subscribe, and turn on the notifications bell if you haven't already done so. And as always, we're definitely looking forward to your comments. Thank you again. Okay, so you're looking at 6 different types of .32 ACP ammo. Starting on the far left is going to be the 71 grain Full Metal Jacket by Federal. Next to it is the 73 grain Full Metal Jacket by Fiocchi. Next up is going to be the Hornady Critical Defense. That is a 60 grain bullet. Next is going to be the 60 grain bullet, which is a Speer Gold Dot hollow point. To the right of that is a 65 grain bullet. It is the Federal Hydra Shok. And on the far right is the 36 grain bullet by MagSafe. It is their X-Load. Okay, what you're looking at here is a close-up view of the .32 Auto MagSafe round, which is a 36 grain bullet. As you can see, there are definitely some pellets in there just being held in there by epoxy. Getting ready to shoot the Kel-Tec P32. This will be Federal 71 grain Full Metal Jacket. .802, 802. .815, 815. 770. 730, 730. 768. This will be the Fiocchi 73 grain Full Metal Jacket. .891, 891. 892, 892. 897, 897. 880, 880. 876. This will be the Critical Defense by Hornady. This is their 60 grain FTX bullet. .828, 828. 812, 812. 810, 810. 833. 865. This will be the Speer Gold Dot hollow point. It is a 60 grain bullet. 768, 768. 797, 797. 777, 777. 764. 791. This will be the Federal Hydra Shok. It is a 65 grain hollow point. 811, 811. 804, 804. 799. 803. 807. Okay, so the first round tested was the Federal Full Metal Jacket. It was a 71 grain bullet. Average velocity 777 feet per second. That translated into about 95 foot-pounds of energy. But then when I moved into the Fiocchi ball ammo, 73 grain ball, much better velocity, 887 feet per second, 128 foot-pounds of energy. So that was actually about 14% faster on the speed than that Federal ball ammo. Plus it's a bullet that's 2%, actually 2.8% heavier. So that combination of extra speed and extra weight translated into 35% more energy than the Federal 71 grain ball ammo. Alright, the next ammunition tested was the Hornady Critical Defense, which is a 60 grain bullet. The average velocity 830 feet per second, translating into about 92 foot-pounds of energy. After that, I tested the Speer Gold Dot, also a 60 grain bullet. A little bit lower on the speed here, 779 feet per second, only 81 foot-pounds of energy. Next, I tested the Federal Hydra Shok, which is a 65 grain hollow point. A little better speed here, 805 feet per second, translating into 94 foot-pounds of energy. Alright, the next ammunition choice for consideration is going to be the MagSafe X-Load, which is a 36 grain bullet. If we are to believe the manufacturer's claim, they claim it's doing about 1450 feet per second, 168 foot-pounds of energy. I did not chronograph any of these, but let's just say that they're not quite up to manufacturer's spec because it's a very short barrel pistol. Maybe they come in 10% less, for example, than manufacturer claim. That would be about 1305 feet per second. That would put you at about 136 foot-pounds of energy. We'll be shooting this steel spinner target with the Kel-Tec P32 using a 71 grain full metal jacket round by Federal from about 17-18 feet away. This will be a 73 grain full metal jacket by Fiocchi, distance 15 to 18 feet away, somewhere in there. Getting ready to shoot these water jugs from about 15 feet away with the Kel-Tec P32 using the Hornady Critical Defense 60 grain FTX bullet. Okay, walking up right now to the water jugs that were just hit with 32 auto, Hornady Critical Defense. Looks like it hit pretty much right there, close to dead center, just a little bit off to the left. That's your entry. Exit. Looks like some damage on the back, more or less a clean exit right there. Entry to the second water jug right there. Exit to the second water jug. Third water jug. Looks like a little bit of an entry there, and it looks like that bullet is resting down there at the bottom of the third water jug. Let's find out for sure. And it's definitely in there. We'll pour that out in a moment for you. All right, so on the right, you're going to see what that 32 auto starts off as. You'll see how it opens up. Starts off as 32 caliber. Looks like that's pretty close to a 40 caliber on the expansion, maybe .41, .42. I haven't really measured it, just kind of eyeballing it there. Here it is from a couple different angles there. So pretty uniform expansion, it would appear. We'll be shooting these water jugs from about 15 feet away with the Kel-Tec P32. Using the 60 grain bullet, this will be the Speer Gold Dot hollow point. Okay, walking up right now to the water jugs that were just hit with 32 auto Speer Gold Dot hollow point. First water jug pretty much hit dead center. A massive exit wound on the back. Probably a much more substantial exit than the 60 grain critical defense. Here's the entry into water jug number 2. No real exit. It almost exited water jug number 2. It didn't quite make it into water jug number 3. It is resting, I believe, at the bottom of this water jug. It's down in there somewhere. We'll see what we can do to pour that out for you. Okay, on the far right is the Speer Gold Dot hollow point. Far left, Hornady critical defense. Hornady critical defense expanded, Speer Gold Dot expanded. When you flip these over, it's pretty apparent that the Gold Dot does expand a good amount more than the critical defense, although it did have less penetration, probably because the massive expansion. We'll be using the Federal Hydra Shok 65 grain hollow point. Okay, walking up right now to the water jugs that were just hit with 32 auto 65 grain Hydra Shok. This was the opening water jug that was hit, and I'm not real sure. Looks like it was about sitting just about like that. So it got hit pretty much dead center. Really pretty much blew the front of it right out. The exit, there's your exit hole. Entry hole into water jug number 2 was right there. It did not exit water jug number 2. It just put a dimple on the back of it. So we should be able to recover this bullet down in there somewhere for you. Looks like it's definitely in there. Okay, on the far right is the Hydra Shok before it expands, and then you'll see the expanded Hydra Shok. In the middle is the Gold Dot hollow point. On the far left is your FTX bullet by Hornady. So it looks like for maximum expansion, it's pretty much a dead heat between the Gold Dot and the Hydra Shok. Here's the Hydra Shok from a little different angle, Gold Dot from a little bit different angle. I don't see a whole lot of difference between those two. Here's the FTX bullet. So you can see that while the FTX bullet did offer a little bit better penetration than these two were all about just massive energy dump right away. So if you are concerned about over penetration at all, either of these two bullets, the Speer Gold Dot or the Hydra Shok, probably going to be a pretty good choice, with a slight edge, I would say, to the Hydra Shok, just because it is a heavier bullet, 65 grain compared to 60 grain. It may still give you a little bit better penetration while also at the same time offering quite a bit of expansion. And there they are. One more time.